find. It's
Nice.
an ice bucket.
Penguins?
Yeah, how
Yeah,
cute is
penguins.
that?
That's pretty cute.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Yeah. And you said you went to see
Nice.
Newsies, or was that last weekend?
Oh, I saw Newsies like 4 times.
Oh, that was
But
okay. Good.
yes, two Newsies this weekend. Oh, YouTube isn't working. All right, I'm on it. Keep
All
going.
right. Yeah, so I left the zip briefly, Tom. I picked up my daughter from Salem State University. She came home
Yeah.
for the weekend. We had a lovely time kicking around. She did some painting. She's an artist. And then we went to the ICA in Boston was free on Monday, the holiday yesterday.
Yes.
And
Nice.
we went into town, the Seaport District. Got to enjoy the atmosphere at Shake Shack, which was jam packed with young families. But it was a nice day to be out in the Seaport
Nice.
right
Beautiful.
before the cold came in.
Yeah, no kidding. So we do have some cold weather coming in. I'll be the weatherman. We've got snow, ice, rain, sleet, freezing rain and sleet, which are different, by the way. But freezing rain and sleet coming tomorrow night into Thursday morning. It should be a pretty bad night.
How can you
And
tell the difference? Is it like how much it hurts when it hits your face? Like, how do you know the difference between sleet and
because
freezing rain?
freezing rain is wet, it's rain until it hits the cold surface and it freezes on contact. And sleet
Okay.
is already ice as it comes down.
So smart.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
See?
Oh.
Yeah. So
You think
anyway,
you think we're gonna get snow on Thursday? Because I saw it rain now.
I think it's going to be not cold enough for snow. I think it might snow for a little while, kind of like this morning and the overnight. It's not going to last very long. I would imagine it's going to be more icy, slippery,
Oh,
wet. So it'll be a mix. There'll be salt on the roads and that kind of thing. But I don't think we'll have like measurable snow. I think further north will be more snow.
yeah.
But here we're like that mixed line.
You know what I
Speak.
wondered? Sorry, Tom. I just had a question about the ice. It's the salt situation. So I
Yes.
noticed that there's a barrel on the corner.
Yes, the city
Near-
does that for you.
Yes. Can I get some of that, or do I
Yeah,
have
you
to?
just go get a shovel
That's
and
what it's for.
shovel it
Is it
down the
really
hill.
for? I could do
Yeah,
that.
it's for the residents.
That's what it's for.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was like a station, like a mailbox station where you have to go and they come and get it and then they spread.
Oh, no.
I
You
can
can
use
go
that
get a
myself?
shovel and start spreading them
Oh,
around the
no, no,
hill.
no, no. That's for the citizens. That's for the
Oh,
citizens.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
The
that's a
courtity.
service of the city.
That is so
That's,
nice.
yeah, that's always
Melrose cares about your well-being, so they're doing it for
That's right.
you.
But it's sand, right? It's not
It's what?
salt. It's sand, isn't it?
It might be sand.
And a mixture. Might be a mixture.
What's in the barrel? I'll find out.
So,
later.
but what I was going to say is, speaking of further north, we're missing a co-host today who I think
Yeah.
is up further north. The only thing I've heard is this.
Oh, that is.
Jen made it.
She's up in Vermont.
That is, of course, the world's
Wait.
tallest filing cabinet.
Oh, that's
Okay, we're
right.
speaking of up north. Briefly, we missed Jen, but speaking of up north, look at that, Linda Granfield. Hey, look at that.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Oh, plus we have the Idahoans watching. I don't know if they knew what time to tune in, right? It's a
Idaho.
different time zone in Idaho, right?
Are
Oh,
they called
there we go.
Idahoans or Idahoans, or I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Hose. The hose.
And Matt Dugan also informs us that sand is in that blue barrel.
All right, we'll take
Okay.
it.
That's an
Thanks,
authoritative
everybody. Thank you,
source
everyone,
on
for
what's in the barrel.
checking.
All right. Well, that's good
He's-
to know. But that I can use it. Who knew?
Yeah.
Hey, so this weekend, did anybody make it to the pro boxing match that was right here in Melrose?
No, I was.
Apparently, Memorial Hall, we missed this, Turf War 4 was right here, presented by Granite Chin Boxing, pro boxing, right there at Memorial Hall.
Huh.
So we have to find out next time and get down there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out a hot take on that one, Tom. My hot take for those I learned from my college daughter. Hot takes are the positions that you can have that are counter to what everybody else thinks. Like, I hate the TV show The Office. Like, what? No one hates The Office. Anyway, my hot
That's not
take is
true, is it?
I'm not a fan of boxing. I'm not. So anyway, that's my hot take.
Did you care to elaborate?
Not much. There isn't much to say. I'm not a fan. That's all.
Yeah. I don't understand it. It's too fast moving for me, so it is hard to follow kind of the strategy and the action. But I don't know, I can appreciate the athleticism. Plus, I'm a student of boxing of a sort over at the YMCA. Of course,
That's right.
this is my favorite kind of boxing. It's opponentless boxing.
Shadow boxing, right? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically.
Well, just trying to get some exercise over there.
Well, that's
but they
good.
got a
Good.
great,
That's
great
good
program
too.
over at the Y.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, it's
good to
excellent.
know.
Fantastic.
Anyway, I just thought it was interesting that there's a lot of stuff going on in town.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
All
I
right,
think
are we ready to get into the news?
I
Okay,
think
here we
we're
go.
ready for the news. Yeah.
Oh, that
Nope.
is definitely not being
No
heard.
music.
That's okay.
We're not
What?
hearing anything. No music.
That's so weird. I heard it on this end. Okay, we'll
I heard
work
it
on that.
through
We'll
you.
get the team on that.
All right, great. Well, I'll just start off. With
If only you had 157 chances to practice that, Tom.
So I'll kick off with some sad news. I wanted to just mention that two of our four, they call themselves the Wyoming Warriors, our Lincoln Crossing Guards. Two of them passed away recently.
Oh no.
I'm
Natural
sorry to hear
causes.
that.
Yes, Steve Blackmore, who was in front of the Lincoln School in Wyoming, and also Dee Dee, Diana Ring, who was at Wyoming and Maine. Both passed away. So it's kind of a big loss for all the kids who kind of go through in the Lincoln family.
The school community, yeah,
so-
for sure.
Yep. So we're going to put a message in the paper, but I have some quotes. Dee Dee was always happy and she was always there for everybody, especially there for the doggies. We and the doggies of the neighborhood miss her. And that's
Aw.
from Ezra.
Right.
And Steve made me feel safe crossing the street, always happy, and that made me happy. That was from another kid, the Lincoln. So our hearts go out to those families and to all the little lions who are having a loss in our community.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
And they are great people in the community from the standpoint that they're welcoming kids every day to school.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember a crossing guard at Lincoln when my kids were there, that the crossing guard named Lisa knew every single kid's name. And she
Yeah.
would say hi by name every single morning to all the kids coming into school. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's pretty essential too, right? Drivers aren't necessarily super careful, even if their parents dropping their kids off at school. So I live right behind the Lincoln School, and it's chaos every
Yeah.
morning and every
Yeah.
afternoon. And it's, you see some questionable behavior by other parents who are dropping their kids off. There's a lot of tension at times. So the crossing guard role is very much needed. So it's not only nice to have in terms of that relationship, I think it's pretty essential to
Right.
people
Yeah.
getting there
Well,
safely.
Yeah. And it's pretty dangerous for them. I was with Sammy getting a haircut at Fades Away and listening to them talk about their experience being right on Wyoming in the morning. It's pretty dangerous. So everybody just slow down. I say slow and smell the Melroses.
Ah,
So
nice.
thank you. I'm working on it. So, all right. But also, school budget season is here. So
Ooh, there
be
you go.
prepared. Just be ready.
I know one person
be
who's happy about
riveted.
this, Sam Hammer. Yeah,
So hopefully we'll have somebody on
at some point.
who can talk us through how the school budget works again. I think we do this every year, but it's always good for a refresh.
Yeah,
All right.
Okay. Good. I can say that we have the Mave White Ribbon Day event is coming up. It's the 6th annual, hosted by the Melrose Alliance Against Violence. And this is the White Ribbon Day is sort of a day. I should say first, it's March 1st. It's 1 p.m. in front of City Hall. All are invited, and they said especially men. They want men to participate in this as well. Come out and stand up and participate in ending violence against women. And again, this is the 6th annual White Ribbon Day over at City Hall on
That's great.
on March 1st.
That's great. Catalina, you jumping in here on the show? You going to participate?
Ooh.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Can you wait? All right. No, wait a minute.
Why, are you testing things in the middle of the show to see if things
I
work?
am trying to fix the problem. You still can't hear that?
No.
No. Okay. All right. I don't know all right. So follow your arts, Melrose, the yellow house on 647 Main Street. They have an opening reception on March 3rd from 6 to 8 p.m. There's a whole exhibit happening, including paintings, fashion, and ceramics from Follow Your Art Community Studios members.
Fun. That's great.
It's
That's
always
going
a
to
good
go.
time over there.
That's going to go from March 3rd until March 30th. That whole exhibit.
Oh, good. That's a good amount of time.
Yeah, yeah.
Or your air horn is very, very faint, but I heard it.
Oh, I didn't hear the air horn. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right. So speaking of arts and culture, the Cultural Council released its grant recipients for this 2023 year. So it was a pretty decent list. Let me see if I can get there really quickly.
Of the grantees?
Yes. So I think, so again, you do not have to be an organization or a nonprofit or anything to apply for one of these grants. So we have the Red Hawk Mass District Competition. I believe that's maybe the robots received some money. Porch Fest received money again. Student Art Show at Follow Your Art received money. The Greater Boston Stage Company received $1,000 to discount tickets to the theater for Melrose students and seniors. So that's great.
Nice.
Florence League received some money for a Mary Livermore Kimishabi. Anyway, Florence, you'll have to come on and tell us. Hip Hop Chair Dance for seniors received some money, and so on and so on. Melrose Pride, Night at the Opera, MLK Day of Service and Public. There's a ton in here. So it's really nice to see that the Cultural Council is able to fund all of these things. And some of it seems like small amounts of money, but it actually makes a huge difference for some of these organizations. So thanks to the Cultural Council for doing that. So we get to enjoy all that. I'll put the link.
Good.
What if somebody wanted to participate in the Cultural Council? Are there any openings? Is there any way to get involved?
Wow. Funny you should ask, Tom Catalini. I think we mentioned this before. There are also currently three open board member seats. If you are interested in submitting your letter of interest for one of those three seats, then you can submit to the email melrosecultural@gmail.com. This is open to anyone who's interested in or has experience with serving the arts or humanities or science. And they also have a request for a couple of specialties, things like marketing, communications, and other areas that might help them as they evolve their board and evolve their work.
That's right. They have big shoes to fill as Jen LeClaire has stepped off of the council.
Our own
Right.
Jen LeClaire.
I know.
That's why things are not working tonight, Tom, because Jen's not here. Things fall
no
apart.
kidding.
The wheels come off the bus. It's a mess.
What isn't a mess is this new senior tax deferral program. So thanks to our legislators and mayor, seniors, they were able to decrease the age from 65 to 60 to be able to receive the tax deferral, and also increase the income from $45,000 to $60,000. So to learn more on that, I'll send you to the website. Yep.
So this is a tax deferral program, which means if you are eligible, then you can defer property tax, you can defer water and sewer and trash pickup fees and all of that until you actually sell your house down the road. So it's a whole program that helps seniors and others be able to afford some of those costs, which can be very high for them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic program. And again,
Makes sense.
60 plus. Yeah.
60 plus. Yep. Memorial Day is coming up, not anytime soon in May, but the parade is back. I got an email from Lily at the city.
Yeah,
asking
I
if
did too.
Yeah, you did. What for? What did you get an email for?
I don't know. I just said that.
Yeah, I didn't get an email, but I read that somewhere, and I was just wondering where I was going to buy like inflatable plastic objects, and now I know.
No, you know.
Now I know. You know when that guy comes down with the shopping cart full of all the plastic stuff?
Oh yeah, the
Memorial Day
horns.
parade.
Yeah. Memorial Day parade. I was with Sam. I was afraid to have Tom keep going with that story. I'm like, I don't know where this is going to end.
So the thing that I love the Memorial Day parade in Melrose, somebody said, if you blink, you'll miss it because it's super short. Well, depending on where you are. And it goes by really quickly. It's festive. The first time few times there's like candy being thrown out, and it's a festive parade for Memorial Day. So I wonder if they're going to be tweaking some things this year, so we can, because it does end at the cemetery. Like if we can
Right.
be more mindful of what the moment of the parade is. I love this parade. The last time Lincoln was in it, we had our banner and we had plastic Abraham Lincoln top hats that all the kids wore.
Oh, fun.
It was adorable. So I think we might do that again, but also being mindful that this is Memorial Day. And then the other thing we read about is that you can, if you contribute to a memorial, you can honor veterans with personalized bricks. So I'll put that here too. And
The information, and you want to show that picture quickly? I can do that.
how about I put the info, you show the picture?
Yeah, sure. So here's a picture of what some of the bricks may look like. It's kind of a great idea. It's white and red bricks that lay out as a flag. And then you can purchase a brick, have your name or have your family's name or other information assigned to that brick. Yeah, it's one of those fundraisers.
Awesome.
Nice. I like that.
That was great.
Nice idea.
And then if you want some things to do, and another way to prepare for the show, we looked at the Melrose Creative Alliance website on the events page. So you can head over there and see all the things
Sign up.
that are going on.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Quite a
Oh,
bit.
good stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
We
All
made
right.
it through.
So,
All right. So a couple things I want
All
to
right.
ask.
So,
Tom, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, because mine's
you
a whole
go ahead.
discussion. No, please.
Well,
sir.
mine is too. I was going to go into the topic of the night, which was Are we going to get into
Yes.
the ding dong ditchers? Okay. All right. All right. You can open the floor, Tom. This
No,
is
no,
it.
no,
We need
I-
some room.
I was asking the question. I hadn't heard about these ding dong ditchers, and so I'm curious to hear how you
all
all
right.
introduce it.
okay.
Sam's
so,
got the lowdown.
Yeah. So at a fire pit last night, it came up in conversation because on the Moms of Melrose page, well, first I read from a friend. There's a picture posted of minors on the Moms of Melrose page, asking parents, if these are your kids, please tell them to stop ding dong ditching. We have young kids. It's very disruptive. Some people are alleging there's a rock being thrown and a fence being broken. So that's kind of how the conversation started. And then it's moved on to other activities of the youth of Melrose. But let's stick to the ding donging for a minute.
Okay.
So Catalina was conflicted, right? That's kind of where you landed.
No, well, yeah, I guess I see both sides of it. First of all, it's not really a big deal. Ding Dong Ditch is a time honored tradition, and you want, I mean, so for young kids to have a little sense of freedom and to get into a little bit of trouble that's not a big deal is, I think, healthy and welcome opportunity. At the same time, I could understand if somebody has had repeated attempts and has a situation at home that, people are making that we don't understand, a young baby, somebody who's elderly, kid, whatever. Your situation could be stressful and maybe you don't need that, particularly if it's repeated. So I didn't think, if you got a Ring doorbell and you caught people on your property ringing your bell, I would post that on Facebook. I don't see that's an issue if they're under 18 or whatever, like they shouldn't be there. At the same time, I also see that, in most cases, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Like kids are supposed to do a little bit of shenanigans.
So let's back up because I want to make sure I heard you properly. You said if you caught them.
This is where I get into trouble.
No. I just want to hear because I'm curious about this this notion. So if you saw kids, you would take a picture and post it on social media, or you would not.
I'm not saying I would do that. I'm not saying I would do that, but I'm saying I don't think that's a cause for outrage.
Having that done.
So I would not do that. Having that done, I don't think is so. I didn't even have one of these fancy newfangled robot doorbells. I got the thing you push a button and electricity goes to a bell and it rings. That's how it works over here. But let's say I had a Ring doorbell and it had the camera and all of that. And, I got pictures of, I don't know, kids doing shenanigans. I think you can post that. They're on your property. They're doing something they're not supposed to do. I don't think that's a big deal because they're supposedly minors. I don't know.
I think it's a big deal.
I don't think.
I mean, it
Why?
was this particular page is closed and it's a
Right,
group
Moms of
and it's meant
Melrose.
to be like so. But putting it out, I think anybody's face is without permission is
So here's a comment that the picture on the
Oh, the
post
picture
public
was.
apparently was not from the Ring doorbell. So that's
okay.
I don't know.
additional information. The plot thickens, as they say. Um,
It's a,
I,
yeah.
I'm mixed too. I'm not sure how I feel. I agree with Tom. Children's shenanigans, it's an annoyance. It's not something that's going to hurt somebody necessarily, or um, cause an issue where others need to be involved to resolve something. Like it feels to me like children, middle school age kids or whatever, acting like they're in middle school or whatever age they are. Um, but I also agree that I don't know how I feel about posting them on the social media page to kind of out them and to say if this is one of your kids, basically what you're saying is if this is one of your kids, do a better job of parenting them because they were annoying me and my family. So that's kind of weird to me that people would feel okay to do that.
I don't know.
But
Then how do you resolve this then? Shampoo. What would you do?
I think it's one of those situations where you don't look for resolution, you look for understanding.
Oh no! What you do is you wait every night by the front door with a
You
large pot of coffee, and the next time they ring it, you go out and go "Blah!" right before they come up to ring it, and you scare them off.
maybe, but again, you're not going to change 12-year-olds from being 12. Like that's just who they are. And if you want them to behave differently or want them to not be 12, it's going to be a hard, long road to get there. I personally not sure that I would be that upset if somebody came and rang my bell and I got there and there's nobody there. Actually, so this happened to be the neighbors. So this happened to me 2 nights ago, and I got there and there's nobody there, and then I find a little bag of candy on my
Yes.
stoop, and
Yeah.
I open my door, I look out, and then I see like a whole bunch of the neighborhood girls who are of that same age, between 6 and 10 or 11, and they're all hiding behind the wall, and they're like, so it was cute. I don't know. I guess I feel like it's much ado about nothing. Maybe I can't tell.
I don't know. To Gail's point, if it is, if there's an elderly or somebody who has a chance of falling if they get up, then you just want to be mindful. And somebody who has young children, like there's nothing worse than the doorbell, honestly. And then the
Right.
dog barks, and then this happens. So
Right.
it's an annoyance. Kids, I don't want to say kids will be kids because it sometimes it does get taken too far. The doorbell generally just annoys me, as does the phone ringing. So I'm not a good gauge of that.
But you could disable both of those objects.
I do. I don't have a doorbell actually. I have
Right.
just a knocker. But I think if I had a picture of minors, I would definitely not post it on social media. I would fight all urge. But I would I don't know. I would and if I didn't know them, I would try to I would maybe reach out to some folks somehow just for some community parenting. So like it takes our little village here to raise all of our kids. So if you saw one of our neighborhood kids doing something,
Yeah.
you would say something. Like that's what a community
Right.
is. So
But again, this is so I think we discussed this maybe a month or so ago when I saw the two kids about the same age, maybe middle school, two kids who had rolled a shopping carriage down the hill here where I live, and it went rolling down the hill and then smashed into the back of someone's parked car. So yeah, that's different to me. That's going to be that costs money, and the police get involved, and someone's vandalized something. Whether it's a mistake or it's intentional is beside the point, I think. But again, I don't want to feel like we're calling children criminals because they're ringing a bell, making them feel like we have
Kids,
to get the police involved.
they
or
don't
whatever.
know it. In many cases, if you give them the benefit of the doubt, they don't really know any better. They don't think about the consequences. They don't know what it's like to have a small child or to have difficulty answering
sure.
the door, or they just don't think about the consequences because you just don't when you're that age. And then you learn, and you might learn the hard way by the kid rolling down the hill, whatever. And like, okay, now maybe this. So that would happen when I was young and we were kids, and you're out maybe with a bat and a ball, and you break a neighbor's window, and then like there's going to be a discussion, and you're gonna realize your dad's gonna fix the window, and it's coming out of your allowance money, and like that's how it works. But you don't really think about that in advance. That's part of the learning process. So part of me likes the idea of kids having a little bit of freedom. It's very over managed these days. There's there's no free time. We were talking about this too, school vacation. My kids are older now, but for younger kids, a lot of parents feel like everything has to be sort of super programmed every minute of the day, but you also need some time to like stare at the wall and, just have a box of chalk and go out in the driveway and color something.
And everybody has a personal outrage that they want to be heard about. And I feel like this is maybe another example of that. Like my outrage is this children ringing my bell and running away. And so therefore everybody else has to care about this too. And I feel like that's when things become really, really tricky and hard to navigate. Like social media allows for that to happen.
Right.
So thank you for saying that, because it is the social media, I think, is a terrible platform for this. Yeah. Because the initial response is outrage, and then the reaction is I'm outraged that you posted the photo, and so everybody's outraged. It's ridiculous.
And the flip of that is you didn't care about my outrage, and now I have to reestablish or reevaluate how I think about you as a friend. You weren't upset that the kids pushed my bell? Well, what's going on? So the whole thing is fraught, and who knows what the answer is.
Right.
We're getting a question about shopping carts again.
What if the shopping What, Tom C or Tom
okay,
C?
so now, all right, so this happened to me. Well, I don't know. This happened to me. I'll take the question. I'll field the question. So this was a lot of hubbub, and it wasn't necessarily social media, but certainly a text thread in the neighborhood. There was talk of this shopping cart going down our very hill. And so, okay, whatever. I think I was at work that day, whatever. And a couple days later, I'm home, and there's the shopping cart halfway up the hill, like against a tree. And, okay, I just put it in the back of my car and drove it back to Shaw's, because it is a situation something's going to happen. It's like in a play, Tom, right? You like, if there's a gun over the fireplace in Act 1, it's going to go off before the play. So you just get it out of there. So what you do is you create the environment and circumstances for youth to be successful and productive.
Yes.
There you go.
I agree. And also, if you see my kids doing anything that they shouldn't be doing, I grant you permission to call them out on it publicly. Well, in person.
Social media.
Not on the internet. In person, please, if you don't mind.
But I do want to hear more about your thoughts on that, because you said no social media for underage kids is what I assume you mean by that, right?
Well, I think also if you have there are times where people take a picture of the back of a person or the front of a person, and they're like, this person sped away. Here's their license plate.
Yeah.
I don't know that social media, is the appropriate place for any of community policing. I'll put it that way.
This was social distancing back in the pandemic. You'd see posts about that.
Yeah,
these kids are over at the field, and that's not proper social distancing.
Yeah.
I'm always yelling out loud, muttering, maybe is the right word. The 25-mile-an-hour speed limit is not honored by all drivers in the city. So I'm often muttering about that, but I don't go posting on social media, but I do verbalize it.
Out to people?
Whoever's around, sure.
I think you should take that crossing guard job. I think you would
oh my God.
feel fulfilled. You would feel fulfilled.
I have some angry 11-year-olds after listening to Tom all morning. Did you see that guy speeding down the road?
I could bring the bullhorn down there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We'll get the thing cleaned up.
Yeah, I don't know. My kids aren't quite, they're coming up to that age where they're going to cause mischief. So I don't have any experience or anything to add. But I think there's some free time for kids, and there's some conversations also on the internet, but no photos about some ruckus and vandalism behind the Incarnate Church on Upham, I think it is. Yep.
Yeah, over there.
And broken beer bottles and loud noises and fireworks and just lots of kids being active late in the evening and disturbing the neighbors.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the times that's the older kids. I've seen the high school or older kids, teenagers maybe. We've seen it at Lincoln School too, in the back area. There's been some
Yep.
empty beer cans, beer bottles, nips of alcohol. That too is, I mean, that feels different to me. I would definitely want to address that. I would certainly say something to those people.
You'd go out and go right to the kids and say something?
If I saw them drinking, I would.
Okay.
I would. It's public property. It's city property, and that's not appropriate for, especially if they're underage. That's not appropriate to be doing that. I always feel like if the police came and said, you can't do that, I'm going to take you in, or I'm going to arrest you, or else it's illegal, or else whatever. My feeling is I should say the same thing, right? I should be the voice of what is right.
Also, what would you want the police to do? So say police stumbled upon that situation. You want them to handle it with tact and care and understanding. So it's not like, oh, you broke the law, you're under arrest. You're also supposed to be like, hey guys, this isn't, do you really think this is a good idea? Like, let's throw that stuff away and let's move along. Or, maybe you talk to the parents or whatever. But I think the social media, I would agree with you, Sam, is, I guess, it's just really, no good is really going to come out of that. You're magnifying, it seems like you're magnifying all the wrong things when you get down that path.
Yeah. So I don't know where this falls in, but last year at Lincoln, there were kids would bust out of the building. It's the end of the day. And there were some that would have this pretend fight club. But they would do it in the front. The one time I noticed in the front yard of the Lincoln, which is right on Wyoming, and there are gaggles of parents standing there.
So the kids are pretending to fight.
Well, yes, but not just pretending. It was.
Well, that doesn't sound right to me.
So anyway,
I'm trying to picture all these parents sitting around.
Yeah, no,
watching kids fight. That's hard to imagine.
I'm that person.
Yeah.
I'm the Tom Shampoo in the scene who has to say, starting at the low level, just yelling, are you for real? You see all these people standing here. Then they moved around where they thought we couldn't see. So eventually I went over there and I just said, this is a terrible idea. And then I did I know your mom, I know your mom, I know your mom. And I didn't know all their moms, but that was enough for them to scurry on, and then they continued out of the well into the baseball field.
Right.
And then I did call one of the moms to tell her that
right.
there's some scurrying happening. But I feel like if you know the folks, it's a little bit easier. To me, it's a hard conversation to have, but it's a little bit easier in the neighborhood. But when you don't know them. And I did end up putting something. I didn't say who. I just said these are the things I'm witnessing, and if you see, we're all a part of this community, so just be aware that there's stuff that happens after school. Not that everyone's a parent and should be parenting other people's kids or whatever, but if it gets to the point where, for example, another time, some of the bigger kids were holding the exit door so other kids couldn't get out of the building. And we're all just standing around. And I'm like, can you just open the door so people can get out? I think it's okay to remind them to be mindful of their environment.
Yeah. But again, the flip of that is kids don't have the brain power to make the best decisions all the time. That's what growing up is all about. Your brain is still evolving, right? So I think expecting those things to never happen is going to be a little naive. That it's going to happen. Those things are going to happen. And again, to me, judge how much of an impact that has. If kids are fighting, they should stop. If kids are holding a door closed and laughing about it for a couple of seconds, maybe that's not the same thing. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. But one of the issues that I think we run into is that every week in the newspaper, we can see what people are willing to call the police about. And the police blotter tells you a wide range of reasons that people call the police. There's
It's a
one
wide range.
I just read this weekend in the paper. Someone called the police because someone's trunk was open on their car, and the police blotter said the police visited a house because a trunk was open on a car. I'm like, well, so why? So who cares? But people care. So
People care. Yeah.
people care about everything, and so that they just want to make it known. I think is part of the problem I'm running into. Again, same thing or similar thing maybe with the Facebook post or the social media post. Parent wants it to be known. I know who's doing this. I want you all to be outraged as well. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I interpret that situation.
Facebook is also, though, a little bit like I'm mad at the world, and everybody's got to hear
Yeah.
my thing, and then
Yeah.
then the other person's got to be mad back, and it's not that productive.
Yeah.
But I guess you're
Yeah.
right, Tom. It's the same thing, like whether you're calling, should you go over there and close the trunk? Should you knock on the door? Should you call the police? What's the right thing to do? What's going on, Sam?
You know what I'm mad at right now? Your crackly microphone.
Microphone. It's got all kinds of noise coming through.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we are over
All right,
time.
we are way over time here.
I think we knocked it out of the park.
I think so
Can you
too.
hear
I'm
me
happy
now?
about that. Yes, we can. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm going to post on Facebook. Had a great show tonight. Good discussion, and then we'll see what people clap back with. All right. Well, listen.
Well,
Whether
that was a great
you
show.
Whether you're out for a real or fake fight, ringing doorbells, or rolling carts down the hill, we will see you around town.
Oh,
Nope, I
that's
can't-
also not working. Oh, there we go.